Right, so rather than doing an actual live demo, I decided to just show a bunch of screenshots as I went through the demo to avoid issues with times for loading and downloading and so on. So the whole thing is, it starts out at the PluginInstaller.com website, which is opened here on in the browser window, and you just click on the plugin installer download and set up, which takes you to this page where you can then click the appropriate link. So typically that will either be the Apple Silicon one or the Intel x86-64. The other platforms are not relevant to the Creative Cloud. So downloading the plugin installer then gives you a zip file in your downloads folder. On Mac and Windows, very similar. You unzip the zip file, so that gives you a folder which has a plugin installer application, which you can move to a location. So in my case, I would move it to the applications folder on the Mac. On Windows, you could move that whole plugin installer folder into the program files folder. So any location that's appropriate, you can pick. You could even move it on your desktop. So, and once it's in place, you can just go and find that plugin installer application and run it. So, and that's all that's needed to install it. So just running it will install it on your computer. So on Windows, there's a little bit more of stuff around the application file. So you just ignore it, go for that icon and double click it. On Mac, you get a bit of a warning, so you can say, yes, I trust this application, I open it. On Windows, you might get a blue screen where you have to say like, yeah, okay, open it anyway. And so once you're in and it's running, you get a screen like this, which allows you to register a user account. So you need to register a user account only once. So once the user account is registered, you have it, and then you can use that same account to download and test and try out all kinds of softwares. If you have multiple computers, you can actually transport that user account to your other computers as well. So the same account can be used on multiple computers. So in this case, I typed in my name and my email address. I typed in an unlock code, which is like a password, but not exactly like a password in that it is never communicated across the internet. It's purely on your computer. And I click OK. And the other thing you typically want to do is make sure that that save unlock code remains ticked. Otherwise, you have to re-enter that unlock code each time you launch the plugin installer. Next step is to register. So this account is currently only local on my hard disk. It has not been registered yet. So I now need to click the register button. So clicking the register button will then send an email to my computer with on the registered email address. So, and there I need to confirm my registration. So I just click the link for confirmation. I get a confirmation message, and then in my plugin installer you get a little smiley face next to the account. So you see that little yellow smiley face there. That means that you're now properly registered. So that's a one-time operation. Once that's done, you have your account, you're registered, and you can start browsing the store for software. So when you want to browse the store for software, currently I only have Rorohiko products up there, but there might be more catalogs in the future with other products from other people. In the Rorohiko products, I have a bunch of free donationware, commercial software. So in this case, I've opted to install, as an example, SmokeWordStacks and SizeLabels. So two little plugins. SmokeWordStacks is donationware, and SizeLabels is begware. So essentially for $4 you can actually get a little bit more features. It's like an in-app purchase on a mobile phone app. So once you have clicked the store link, it actually adds a bookmark into your plugin installer automatically. So I've clicked the link for SmokeWordStacks. That gives me a bookmark in my plugin installer. And then I can essentially read about SmokeWordStacks, what does it do, and then hit the download button to actually download the SmokeWordStacks script to my computer. So then once it's downloaded, I can install it. So before I install it, I'll show you here the InDesign scripts palette. So the scripts panel is empty, there's nothing in it. So the user division is empty. So then in Plugin Installer, all you need to do is then in install target, pick the correct version of InDesign. If you have multiple versions of InDesign, if you had only one version of InDesign, there's no choice, but you might have an older version of InDesign there. And then hit install. So you click the install button, and on your scripts panel automatically will appear the SmokeWordStacks script. So the script comes with two scripts actually. There is a script to copy some example files to your desktop, so example files you can use to try out the script, or that also serve as starter files where you cut little bits out of those files into your own documents to make them perform the correct actions that you want. So I'll first double click the copy sample file, so the thing copies a sample file to my desktop. So this is SmokeWordStacks. This script will actually look for word stacks, which is like if you have text that's in columns, occasionally you get these rivers of words that are the same word one below the other, and that's essentially annoying. So that's a visual discrepancy that you want to avoid. So you want to know about those word stacks, and this script will actually show you those word stacks. So the script has now been copied to the desktop, and then all the scripts that I've been writing recently, I've tried a new approach to actually have the configuration info carried in the document itself in a text frame on the pasteboard. So on the pasteboard there is a text frame where there's a whole lot of configuration options for SmokeWordStacks. So how sensitive should it be, how far apart can those words be, and so on. Should it look for hyphenation or not? And you can actually build multiple profiles. Each profile is an option that you can use when you run the SmokeWordStacks script. So you might have like one profile here is only hyphenation stacks. Another profile is I'm looking for 3 or more letters at the start or end of line. So you can have multiple configurations embedded in that pasteboard frame. So then once I double click the SmokeWordStacks script, it will run, and every day so it will only show this once a day. It will actually tell you it's donationware, and I wouldn't mind getting a little donation. So once you donate, this warning will disappear, but even then, if you don't donate, it's only once a day that you get to see this. So then the script proper executes. It actually asks you one of those profiles. So these profiles are what you actually configure yourself on the pasteboard. You pick one, click OK, and then you see it will actually annotate the issues in the document. You see, for example, the word almost is 3 times the word almost. Now, the demo version here is configured to actually be very sensitive, which means that first almost is actually quite far to the side, but it still picks it up because I've actually configured it to detect the same word within 20 points, left or right. In reality, in the real situation, you would reduce that to something like 3 points or something. So that you can clearly see where the word stacks are. You could also see where the hyphenation stacks would be. So there's a different annotation that's similar. These annotations are contained in a separate layer. The script creates a layer that it puts on top of your document. So that layer can just be deleted, and that removes any annotations done by SmokeWordStacks. So then I'll also do SizeLabels. So again, in the store, you click on the link for SizeLabels. That gives you a bookmark in Plugin Installer. And then again, you can download. And then after you've downloaded, you can install. So that's all happening here. Download it, install it. And then once it's downloaded and installed, you again get a new script in your scripts panel. Again, same approach. You have a sample document, you have the scripts proper. So here I've copied those that sample document to the desktop, and again there's a configuration text frame on the pasteboard where you can clearly see this document needs SizeLabels, and this is how SizeLabels is configured. So SizeLabels, again, once a day, it will actually tell you that there are some additional features, and they're only available for the first 30 days. And then afterwards, you need to pay $4 to actually keep those features enabled. So that's a little bit stronger than donationware. It's kind of bigware in-app purchase. So I'm experimenting with various price models and feature models to try and get some revenue out of the scripts I'm writing. So when you run SizeLabels, it will actually add some labels to designated frames. So by default, all frames will get that. But in this case, I've actually marked 2 frames specially to not get a label. But this label contains the size of the label in certain units. And you can configure what the units are and whether you want to see vertical or horizontal first, whether you want to see the name of the image that's in the frame, in the label, and so on. The script is not live, which means if you move frames around, the content of that size label will not update, so you just need to run the script again. So each time you do movement or changes to the page, you need to rerun the script, and that will automatically update the labels. And that's it.